Okay, welcome back. Another video. So, if you've watched the previous video, we have created, obviously, the user login registration functionality. We spent a long time debugging the code for the Jest tests, and then in the latest video, we went through and we added a bunch of documentation just to help explain the code, walk through a bunch of things, and then we also updated the code to use the new error handling capabilities in Express.js 5. So what I want to do now is update the tests again, because when we ran them at the end of the last video, 9 failed, and I believe that's because of the new error handling. So we're going to go back to Claude, and we've got all of our project files here, which Claude then reference when, basically answering questions on our behalf. But the challenge that we have is obviously some of these files have now changed. So I'm just going to go through and we're going to update a lot of the content or a lot of the files here that they're referencing. I'll try and do this in somewhat of a logical order so I don't miss anything, starting with login. So I'm going to remove all of the login functionality, delete those, and then I'm going to add them back in. Cool, and then we're going to go to the next set of files, which is middleware. So if we go to middleware, we are going to get rid of auth, we're going to get rid of authorize, we're going to get rid of error handler, we're going to get rid of middleware test, we're going to get rid of sanitize, and we're going to get rid of validate requests. We're going to delete those, and then we're going to re-upload the new versions. We've got our models. I don't know if anything changed in our models. Let's just be on the safe side. We will delete those. Drag and drop in files. Registration. So change those. Delete those. Then routes we didn't change, which is the index file there. Tests we didn't change. Utils, app error, and logger did change, so we'll delete those. Update that. Then we had our DB, Jest config didn't change, package didn't change, server may have, app may have. So we'll delete those. App, DB, server, and we'll drag those across. Alrighty. In the previous chat, we updated our code base to leverage Express.js's new error handling functionality. I have provided the updated files for this into the project knowledge base. What we didn't do, however, was update the test files for all of the functionality to also leverage this, or to expect the correct errors. Yeah, so that to expect the correct error message and response now. Let's see what so what one was failing most. Let's start with our login. Let's start with our login. Can you please start by updating the login.test file to take account of this? After updating the file, please provide details on what you changed. Alright, let's go with that. Okay. In the login service test, I changed the error expectation for non-existent user and incorrect password. Modified the test for handling authentication errors. Instead of checking the response directly, it now expects the error to be passed to the next middleware function. Added expectations for the error message and status code passed to the next function. Login update, change status code expectation. Updated the error message, change the status code. Okay. I think that should work. I'm just going to check one thing because it should pass authentication errors to the next middleware. I think that's brand new. Test. It should pass. Yeah. So it is mocking things again. It's using this HTTP mocks to create the response. And I know from our previous video that got us into a little bit of trouble previously. But this is just it's just mocking it so it can test the middleware. It's not mocking the actual login or anything, so it's just for testing that middleware. So we will go with that. Save. And we'll run our tests. 9 failed previously. We should hopefully have a few less failures. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. So there's still an error. So many console blocks. Okay. What I'm going to do, just going to undo the change that we did there for a second. I know this isn't best practice. Obviously we don't have Git set up yet, so I just want to make sure that there's a way of getting back to our original code if we need to. And then paste this here. And then we will say we still get these errors. Troubleshoot and explain what's gone wrong. I think asking it to explain what's gone wrong is a little bit of an unlock. I know that previously with like all of the debugging I was doing yesterday, well not really, I mean I was leveraging AI to try and fix itself, just kind of getting stuck in that loop of cut and pasting and asking for it to fix itself wasn't necessarily helpful. So getting a bit of an explanation can be beneficial. All right. Oh, interesting. So in login service, unauthorized error. So login service authenticate user, unauthorized error, invalid email or password. That has a throw new error. I don't exactly know what's changed there. Hang on. We've ensured that all errors thrown are instances of unauthorized error. Oh. Is that what we wanted to do? Unauthorized, not found error. do we actually want to do this, or is it best practice to have different error instances and update our tests accordingly? Yeah, I think it's, my concern is it's just trying to pass the tests, so I just want to double check that. Okay, as expected. There we go. So we'll go back to our error types. Save that. Then we've got our login service. So I don't think much of this has changed. So just gonna bring that here. Authenticate user, not found error. So not found error. Unauthorized error, that's fine. Refresh token. Unauthorized, log out, not found error. Okay, save that. Then in our login tests, and we got to do this. Login service, expect refresh to be defined. It should throw a not found error for non-existent user, to throw not found error. It should throw an unauthorized error if incorrect password. So this is unauthorized. Then login controller to have been called with. Expect any unauthorized error, and it should return a okay, this has just been changed to invalid password. Log out. Let's change the message. Okay. Refresh. Token not found. Actually, hang on. I'm meant to be in log out. Describe. Refresh. Token not found. Okay. Save that. And then it did say here, I'll ask you, are any updates required to our error handling middle? Okay. Error middleware. Getting from our error types. Got our error handler from our error utils. I was just checking that, so it wasn't replacing functionality that was in the utils. Good. Okay, so now if we scroll back here, that we ran. Okay. Right, cool. Let's run the tests and see what happens. Eight failed, 22 passed. Man, more fails. Okay. Error.utils, some issue. Login test. Just ask it to double check. Can you double check this is all okay, all correct, given the changes we have made? I'll be back. Let's go to our test file again. And it is telling us, oh man. Here we go. Okay. Login controller. Expect any should pass authentication errors to middleware. Oh, this is invalid password. Login endpoint should return a 401. Invalid password to be false, 401. What changed there? res.body.success to be false to equal 401. Invalid password. Am I blind? Is that the same? It should return a 401 with the
Okay, welcome back. Continuing, I should say, with the series of building out
video
the backend for the application, yet to be determined.
Exporting, and it started playing out of the speakers. Okay, that's the same. Log out 404. Should return a 404 with invalid token, not 401. 404. Refresh token not found. Okay, save that. And we'll run our tests again. Still 9 failed. Invalid. Okay. Well, at least we can solve that issue. Should return a 404 with invalid token. Needs to be invalid refresh token. So put that in there. It's annoying. Login endpoint should return a 401 with invalid credentials. Login endpoint should return invalid email or password. I believe it is better to actually say email or password, and then that way they can't tell, like if someone's trying to brute force their way in, at least they don't know if it's the email or the password's wrong. It's a small thing, but authentication errors. Alright, save that, run the tests again. Okay, down to 7 failed from 9. Log out. Missed one, obviously, so line 175. And then I'm so over these console logs. Ooh, okay. Let me get rid of some of these. Save, login route, login service. I think these logger.info thing have authentication attempt. I don't know. Logger.info. I don't know how this logger thing works. Like what is a console log and then what's worth keeping. Anyway, we'll look at that later on. Run it again. So we had 7 failed before. Hopefully we go down to like 5, and then it should just be the registration tests that we have to fix, and then we can move on to some new functionality. Alright, 6 failed. And registration, yeah. Alright, so and the middleware test. Okay, so in registration, great, that worked. No, it didn't really, thanks. We now need to update our registration test file. Here are the current errors. Registration. Okay, registrations. Test registration service. Yeah, this one should throw conflict error. Just checking that it's still testing everything. Makes sense. Should expect any. To be 400 passwords do not match. To be called with. Yep. Okay. Copy. Again, I know it's not best practice. I'm just going to copy out, comment out that code just in case I want to get back to it. We're going to implement Git soon. I know I should have done it from the start of the project, but hey. Yeah, what are you going to do? Six failed. It's these messages again. So 123. For some reason it thinks we have different messages than we do. This wasn't called. Okay, interesting. Yeah, those .info things are just console logs. Okay, so we can get rid of those. They're really annoying. save that. Let's go to our login service for a second and get rid of these logger.info, logger.warm. All the info is, that's only info ones. Okay. Logger.info, 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 logger.info. Alright, save that. We'll run the test. It's going to fail again, but hopefully it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. All right. So this test failed. Can you help fix and explain why? Okay, so we need to update our registration controller. Registration. Get rid of this password. Console log, console log, console log. If password does not equal password, throw what? It should handle registration errors. So beforehand, passwords do not match. Just wondering if we throw an error rather than return a response. Previously in our registration controller, we had this response if passwords didn't match. Now, if we just throw a validation error, does this limit our ability to show a message to the user on the front end? Because what you can do is if you get the response as res.json message passwords do not match, then you could obviously show that to the user and say, hey, like, your password's not matching. I don't know if you can do that if you throw an error. You've raised an excellent point. Of course you have. What's it doing? So okay. Well, you can use our error handling. I don't really know if we have to do this. Okay. We will run with this. we've got to update our error middleware. This is error middleware, validation error, there we go. Then types error, then okay, so I've done that. Let's see if our tests work. So 5 failed previously. 41 minutes, wow. Alright, I really hope this doesn't take another like 4 hours to fix, because okay, just an import. No, it was already there. Copy. This is C. Throw new validation error, we are doing that. If password does not equal confirm password, throw new validation error. Ah, this is why. Silly. Let me see import here. It's annoying. Right. What did it? Let's run the test. Five failed still. This is really annoying. 2 have been called. Okay, run that. We're going to set a hard cutoff of an hour, so we've got another 15 minutes. If we don't fix these errors, I'm moving on to new functionality for the time being, because, yeah, I'm sick and tired of just working on Jest tests. And now I get this error. password, confirm password. Alright, run this. I hate testing. Okay, passwords don't match, which is good. And it does get to this point of the code. Error types. Validation error. Passwords do not match. Not sure. Let's try and see if we can fix these other errors. So in our middleware test, it should handle programming errors. Something went wrong, it changed the message to this. It should handle operational errors. Expected it to be 400, received to 500. Okay, yeah, we can go down a rabbit hole on this still, and I really want to work on some new functionality. I was hoping this would be quick. I think we might have just fixed one test. Let's just quickly do that, and then I will stop the video here, and then the videos might be released in a non-sequential order because I'll just put this with the next lot of testing videos. Okay, we've passed one more test. All right, I'm going to stop the video here, and we'll get on to some new functionality. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do some more testing. We've let it slide for quite some time, and if we run npm run test, we're going to have a lot of failures. Well, pretty much everything failed. So the way we're going to start with this is we're going to go over to Claude. We're going to do a new chat, and we're going to go, I now need to test our functionality. We already have test files for some code, but now they are failing after recent refactoring and additional code. Let's start with our registration functionality. Let's start by updating registration.test, which should test all of our registration functionality. We want both unit and end-to-end testing. However, I don't want to mock responses from API endpoints. We should instead call the actual services and test that we get the correct results. As you will see in our, I think it's in our test.setup file, our setup.js file for tests, we are using Mongo memory server, so we don't have a separate database connection for tests. Does this all make sense? And do you have any other questions before you proceed? All right, so hopefully with that instruction, it's got a little bit of an update, a little bit of an understanding. Yes, good idea. Yes, we will test mail verification flow as part, but should be in a separate file and tested separate. And tested again separately. Yes, we will test the scheduler service. This yes, we should test the current test file has a mixed approaches, some mock requests. Yes, standardize on super test. Okay. So if we compare what it's now doing to what we had before, registration service, it's kind of break. Okay, so it's testing the API, register new user, verifying that, should prevent just, yep, if an email already exists. Input validation, it's a new test, that's a new test, that's an existing test, that's a new test, that's a new test, that's a new test, that's a new test. Okay, let's just ask it, did you, I can also add more specific tests. I hate how it does this. It's what I want you to do. I want you to create lots of specific tests. Yes, please generate the file again and create as many specific tests as needed so that this is extremely well tested. We are aiming for 100% test coverage. You have to be specific. Okay, this looks really comprehensive. I mean, even here, it should use a different salt for each user, so it's creating two different users and making sure their password is hashed differently. Okay. Save that. How do you run one specific test again? I can never remember this. How do I run one specific test file in Jest? npm run test. Okay, so /components /registration / registration.test.js. No tests found. Test. Okay. That didn't work. Oh, I did it wrong. npm test dash components / registration / Okay, now it's running. Let's bring this over here. Whoa. 26 failed. Oh dear. Some of this functionality might not be in our code. Okay. The password being too long. Special characters. Okay, so in our registration, I don't know if you can have special characters in emails. Can you have special characters in emails? You can contain special characters. So I don't know why you wouldn't want to allow special characters. Whoa. Okay. So email validation. Valid emails. Okay, so what we now need to do though is we need to update our code to ensure we validate for these conditions when a user creates a new account or updates their email in the future. Okay, so email validator. So utils, we're going to create a subfolder called validators. And in there we're going to have email validator.js. Copy, save. Oh no, this is the whole file, sorry. So copy this, save. Then in our user model, we need to bring in email validator, and then we need to have email type string validate this functionality to here. Save, and then in validate request, we update this functionality. And then in routes, Is it a routes? Okay, we've got validate request. Yeah, so sorry, my mistake. Validate request we keep. Okay, so I just want to check this. Validate request. So in validate request.js file, are we adding validate email, or does it replace all of our previous code? Okay, I thought so. It was just a little bit confusing there. Validate password. Whoa. Copy, save, and then in our routes, need to bring in this, and then in we add both of those. In login, login. All right, login. We don't have a profile routes, password reset routes. Have we done that? Forgot. Oh no, we did password forgot functionality, which is a code. Okay, cool. Which is password. Yeah, we did do password reset, of course. So we bring in this, and then forgot password. We got these two pieces there, and reset password as well. Okay. All right, fantastic. So what we also need to do though is added this code here, email validation tests. So we will add email validator.test.js. All right, so that was a bit of code. Let's just do our registration tests again. So we had 26 fail before. Obviously, it's still going to be a lot that fail. But test cases is not defined. Registration tests, test cases, h.test cases. Valid email, invalid. So that's just for that. Save, run again. All right, let's see how we go. What's this? Far out. Just say, oh maybe it's just an extra bracket. Hang on. Is that right? $26, 20 minutes. Whoa. 36 failed. Oh my god. Wow. Okay. That was crazy. Alright. Wow. All of these tests are now failing. Oh my goodness. Okay, thanks for really helping me out here, Claude. So we did all this, validate. We did this. Yeah, there's more though. Is valid domain. Right, let's copy this. Let's put this back in here. Save that. Updated user model. We did bring in that. So we've got email string, validate validator, function. I've changed the formatting of that slightly. Save. Company, it's all the same. Role is verified. Reminder sent. Schedule reminders. Password reset history. MFA enabled. MFA secret. Okay, that's all the same. Then in our middleware, validate request. What are you? Validation error. Yep, logger, validate email. Registration validation. Just, I'm going to ask it, just please rewrite. And what did it change in the tests? Valid emails. So it just got rid of tests? I'm going to ask it. Rewrite. While it's doing that, there is an error on just running. Oh, this is password reset routes. Password reset route. Validation. We'll come back to this. Come on. Alright, edge of trim company name. Alright. We can't run the test because we get this error. We can't. Password reset controller is trying to use what? Oh, validation error. Okay, so it's changing a bit of code. Save that. Routes. Validation. Okay. Save. Password reset service. Alright. Module not found. I cannot find path to reset controller. That's bizarre. Cannot find path to password reset. It's right there, that's crazy. Getting a similar error to what I got earlier. Cannot find module password reset controller in password reset routes, and it should be just one up, or not even one up, within the same directory. So if you go, for example, to registration routes, registration controller. That is how it's done. run out of messages. It's going to be that stupid... Oh. This is really frustrating. I don't know why it does this. And it's not able to run the test because of that. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. It's password reset controllers. God damn it. How did I not notice that? Honestly, far out. It's too late. Annoying. Probably all sitting there watching this video going, oh my god. What's happening now? Sorry. This is crazy. So we've updated all of this error handling and now it's giving... it's using... So for example, these are the errors that it's throwing. But we haven't updated our other code to do that. Oh, it's so annoying. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to stop the video here because it's frustrating me. I'm going to take a little bit of a break and I'll come back a little bit later. Okay, I'm going to try a different approach with our testing. I'm going to start a new chat. What we're going to do, because obviously the testing has been driving me absolutely crazy, is we are going to go line by line. So here is my login.controller file. Not file. Here's my login controller. Okay, I don't want you. you more code now. Don't. Yeah. Here is my authenticate user service, which so we give them our authenticate user service, and then we are going to say that it calls generate and send, generate and send. All right. I don't want recommendations. The login service, the authenticate user functionality also leverages these services. I am still just giving you code, don't do anything. Then we have our auth.js middleware. Going to think so much, it's going to get really annoying. Come on, hurry up. Also, just noticed my microphone's on the desk. Oh my god, I don't want you to do anything. And here is our validate request middleware. I am just giving you code. Do not respond with any detailed ideas or recommendations. We also have a separate email validator. I just giving you code, do not respond to recommendations. We then have an error types utils and an error utils. We also have this error handling middleware. Our models are as follows. Now, if I was to ask you to write unit tests using Jest, is there any other code you would want to see first? I will ask you to write Jest tests only for our login functionality. Okay, so here is our login.service.js file. Why does it do that? It doesn't like it when I cut and paste the whole file. So just like this. Here are our environment. What else do I want? Email service. Okay, I don't want to yeah, this is where my knowledge of testing is a little bit limited. So if we're not mocking any of the services, we're doing integration testing. All right. No, that's not what I want. Okay. just see if this works. Case. Then after this, I might have to call it a night anyway. So just couldn't find. Okay, it's because this is going to be here. Login.service. Login. Save that. Right again. I can't find this. So up one, up two, utils, logger. Oh, I missed it there. Login.service. Try again. No mistake, no issue. Yeah. Okay, so I'm starting to think we might need to write these tests by hand. Because when the user logs in, like if there's no user, we need to check for this error. If their password isn't a match, we need to check for this error. If MFA is enabled, we need to generate a token. Testing is hard with AI. Okay. Before we wrap up, I am just interested to scroll up a little bit. And just look at Alright, so there's a few things we can do there. Okay, so in summary, I think approaching it step by step is probably going to be the better result. But it's going to be time consuming. But I don't really think we have a choice. I think what we need to do is go through our functionality step by step and go, okay, someone tries to log in our login.routes folder. Actually, let's just try this. Yeah, let's just try this. Write a test for our login.routes and then we'll finish up. Write a test for our login.routes file. I specifically want to test that the email and password field is not empty. That the email and password field is not empty. That is all I want to test now. So let's just get rid of this. Copy. Okay. Don't need any of this. Don't need any of that. Just need that. And this is up on a level. Save. Sorry, we do need should return a validation error. No, it shouldn't return a validation error. Or yes, it should. Because this is going to call validation change, validate request. Just going to get rid of this for a second. And I'm going to run it again, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay. Yeah, we're going round in circles. Not really feeling it with the AI use of Jest testing. I think the problem is that there's so many interdependent files that it just can't get it right. Which is really annoying. So if we go here, I know I said I'm going, but one more thing. Let's do test email 5. Let's purposely do the wrong password. Invalid email password. So actually, you should return a validation error when password is empty. Let's check that. So why does that last test fail? Received. Expect response.body.message. const is declared, but it is never. How is it never read? Weird. Async await. Okay, we're going to wrap it. I think what we've done is when we've added a lot of this validation capability, we've buggered things up a little bit. So we're going to have to review our code again tomorrow and try and get this working. And then I think once we do that, we have to go line by line through our different services and go, okay, here's what we're trying to do when we call our login API endpoint. It goes from here to our controller to our service and just test it that way. Anyway, that's a wrap. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.